Kicking off our countdown at number 10 is the time that Zac Efron dropped a condom on the red carpet. This is not fake news, you guys, this is very much real. To make matters worse, it was on the red carpet of the Dr. Seuss The Lorax premiere, which isn't the first movie you normally pick to bring a condom to. Like, I just want to know, like, what were you planning for that night at a Dr. Seuss premiere? He ended up fessing up to it during an interview on the Today Show, but he couldn't really deny it anyways because it was all caught on camera. With a simple zoom in, you can clearly tell that it is a condom. Zac was just reaching in his pocket to pull some other items out, but then that fell out instead, and it just so happened to fall out directly in front of the paparazzi that was waiting for him. He ended up just laughing it off and said that he now does a full pocket check before going on the red carpet. Better to stay safe than sorry though. Am I right? I mean, it's not like a horrible message to be putting out there to his fans. Next up at number 9 is the moment that Jerry Seinfeld refused to hug Kesha. The moment went viral after it was caught on camera because it is painfully embarrassing to watch. I don't get secondhand embarrassment very easily, but guys, with this one I did. I just felt so bad for Kesha. Like, I can only imagine being so excited to meet like your celebrity crush and then this happening. So what happened was they were both on the red carpet at the Night of Laughter and Song event. Jerry was in the middle of an interview when Kesha rushed over to him all excited to meet him. She approaches him and tells him how much she loves him, and she goes in for a hug and he just like completely rejects her.
Can I give you a hug?
No thanks.
Please?
No thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no thanks.
The moment is so awkward. She tries to hug him like 3 different times and he just keeps putting his hand up and saying no. What hurt her even more though is the fact that when she walked away, he asked the reporter who that was. He didn't even know that it was Kesha. But the two have spoken since the incident, and Jerry said that she was very nice about it and that they laughed it off. And if you are wondering, no, he still has not hugged her. Sliding into number 8 is Jennifer Lawrence. One day we will all be telling our grandkids about the time that Jennifer Lawrence tripped up the stairs at the Oscar Awards. We won't have to just tell it though, we can also show them because it was all televised. She had just been called up to the stage to receive the Best Actress award for her role in Silver Lining Playbook, and she completely tripped and fell on her way onto the stage. She explained what happened and said that she remembers her stylist telling her to kick and walk, meaning kick the dress out while you walk, but then she got distracted and forgot. The dress tucked under her feet and she went down. It was pretty much just game over from there. But she did handle it like a champ. She laughed and then got right back up and went to get her award. In our number 7 spot is Justin Bieber pukes on stage. Back in 2012, it was the first night of his world tour and everything seemed fine at first. He was doing his thing, busting out his choreography, and singing his hit song Out of Town Girl, and then things suddenly took a turn for the worst. Out of nowhere, he turns his back to the crowd, bends over, and just puked all over the stage. He immediately rushed backstage while his dancers continued on, basically trying not to slip in his vomit. He eventually made his return to the stage, announcing that he was gonna just slow things down, but within a few songs, he was puking again. So he didn't just puke once, he puked twice. In front of everyone. He posted a picture to his Instagram after the show with him curled up in bed and captioned it, "Milk was a bad choice, lol." Why would you ever drink milk before a show? That's bad for your vocal cords, boy. I don't even sing and I know that. Milk. That is the worst idea I've ever heard. Moving on to number 6, we have 50 Cent's terrible baseball pitch. Now, why would anyone care if he can throw a baseball or not? Well, he threw what's been called one of the worst opening pitches in baseball history. He was asked to pitch the game ball for the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the New York Mets game, and it is a pretty big deal to be invited as the opening pitcher. But his throw was so brutal that everyone could not help but laugh.
His first pitch was not great. Just a bit outside.
He was torn apart on social media, but in a lighthearted way, of course, because it's not that serious. He didn't have much of an excuse for it, so he just made a joke about it and wrote on his social media saying, "I have a skeletal muscle injury on my left shoulder from excessive masturbation, so take it easy, lol." This just prompted like a whole stream of hilarious responses from his fans. But, well played, my friend, that is funny. He literally just like threw it to the left, like literally I don't know where you were looking, but it wasn't that way. Here now at number 4 is Katy Perry's hilarious cake fall. Ever since she came into the spotlight, she's been known for her crazy costumes, rainbow wigs, and wild stage props, like a giant cake for example. During one of her performances at the MTV's Latin America Awards, Katy was singing her hit song I Kissed a Girl, and she dived into a giant cake. Now you might think she could have settled for a fake one, surely they have cool props like that nowadays, but she chose the real deal instead. But when she got off the cake and was covered in it, she continued to sing but slipped and fell onto the floor. The best part was, she kept trying to get back up, but she just kept slipping and falling down again. Like her guitar player is trying to help her and she just can't stay on her feet. She was falling all over the stage as she struggled to get up and stay on her feet, all while singing. It was honestly so great to watch. I don't mean to laugh, you girl, but that shit's hilarious. In our third spot is Janet Jackson's iconic nip slip. This moment will forever be remembered, and it would have been even if it wasn't televised all over the world. It was back in 2004 when Janet paired up with Justin Timberlake to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. But by the end of their performance, they gave a whole new meaning to the phrase wardrobe malfunction. At the end of the song, they were performing some of their rehearsed choreography, and Justin was supposed to pull off part of her costume to relieve like more red costume underneath, but instead he exposed her bare breast. Not only to the crowd, but to the TV audience of over 140 million viewers. Taking over our number 2 spot is Steve Harvey announces the wrong winner. Back in 2015, he was asked to host the Miss Universe pageant, which means you only have one job: to announce the winner. He proved to be a reliable host for 3 years, so people were shocked when he announced the wrong winner and didn't realize it until after everyone was celebrating her win. Like she literally did the flowers, the crown, everyone was cheering. Yeah. He announced that Miss Columbia had won the competition, but then realized that she was actually the runner-up, and the actual winner was Miss Philippines.
I have to apologize.
He actually had to walk back on stage and revoke his declaration and then tell Miss Philippines that she is not in second place, she is in first place. The whole thing was super uncomfortable to watch, and you can't help but feel so heartbroken for Miss Columbia, who just thought that she had won the entire thing and then had it taken away.
Coming in at number 10, Snooki. Nicole, also known by her reality show nickname Snooki, began appearing as a main character for the show Jersey Shore back in 2009. This is where the name Snooki really stuck and her popularity began to rise. The New York Times even referred to her as the breakout member of the cast. Now at 32 years old, the New Jersey native has come a long way from her drunken outbursts on the Jersey Shore. Although the reason I bring her up for this list is to remember that very embarrassing episode of her being arrested on the beach. In 2010, Nicole was acting in a disorderly manner while on the beach, as reported by the Seaside Heights police chief. It was brutal to watch on that episode as well, just seeing her falling over drunk and no one around even trying to help her. I don't know what's more embarrassing though, the fact that she passed out drunk on a beach or the fact that it was all captured on camera. And before we move on to our next point, I need you guys to hit that like button because it really helps us out. Coming in at number 9, John Travolta. Back in 2014, actor John Travolta famously mispronounced Idina Menzel's name while introducing her at the Oscars.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
John would later appear on Jimmy Kimmel's show to explain why exactly he called the Let It Go singer Adele Dazeem. When reflecting on the incident, John had this to say: "The truth is, I was expected backstage and it was getting very close to the time I was supposed to go on, and suddenly a page, an assistant to you, grabbed me and said, 'You're on in a minute.' I was like, 'What happened to 15 minutes?' And they didn't explain. Later I found out my actual page got stuck in an elevator and couldn't communicate to anybody, so the backup came to get me." He then goes on to blame Goldie Hawn for distracting him backstage with her beauty, and then he shifts the blame to an assistant who said that they were changing Idina's name to phonetic spelling, although the pronunciation was never explained to him, and thus he was rushed out onto the stage, and we got this very embarrassing celebrity moment. In number 8, Kanye West. Even though it's been more than a decade, Kanye continues to shade Taylor along with his wife Kim, doing illegal things like releasing phone call conversations without the other person's consent. That was a mouthful. Now this story has gotten even crazier though, with Kanye actually claiming that God told him to interrupt Taylor Swift. Very embarrassing. To refresh your memory of the event, allow me to cover some of the key details. The bizarre interaction took place at the start of the night when a 19-year-old Taylor Swift was accepting the award for Best Female Video. However, as she was giving her acceptance speech, we all watched a drunken Kanye run onto the stage. He then proceeded to grab the microphone from Taylor and said,
"Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
In at number 7, Ashley Simpson. This video still gives me secondhand embarrassment. In the video you can see all this confusion when Ashley realizes that the track started playing before she even had the microphone up to her face, so she just awkwardly dances instead. Maybe that's where the Fortnite Take the L dance came from. At that point, you can't even really salvage the performance. I mean, it's called Saturday Night Live for a reason. So she just did her little dance, said that she was sorry, blamed it on her band for playing the wrong song, and then it was all quick cut to commercial from there. During an interview several years later, she was asked about this, and here's what Ashley had to say.
What happened there was I had a vocal problem. I had two nodes beating against each other, and I woke up and I had no voice. And then I should have said, no, I will not go on. I will not do this. And
in at number 6, Rita Ora. Aside from being a talented musical act, Rita has also acted in some pretty big films. She was in 50 Shades of Grey and even appeared in Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Here's where she got caught doing something very embarrassing though. She posted this tweet that said, "Dropping my new song Monday if this gets 100,000 retweets." And it got way less than that, which then resulted in this drastic narrative change. She then tweeted, "By the way, my Twitter got hacked. Somebody is threatening to release new music I've worked really hard on. Nothing comes out until I'm ready." Funny enough, that tweet had more retweets than her previous one, but again, nothing even close to 100,000 retweets. So she was dreaming. And by the way, she has 6.8 million followers, so embarrassing bots too. In at number 5, Justin Timberlake. Way back in 2003, Justin Timberlake was best known as a member of the boy band NSYNC, although even JT was not safe from Ashton Kutcher's prank show called Punk that aired on MTV. In this embarrassing celebrity moment, we have Justin Timberlake absolutely losing his mind as he comes home to find that his entire home is being repossessed by the IRS. Timberlake then begins to cry and go a little bit crazy, but there was a reason for that. During an interview that he did with Playboy magazine, Justin explained why that incident was so embarrassing for him. In the interview he said, "I actually stopped smoking pot for 9 to 10 months after Punk'd. I was so stoned. If you ask my friends if they're honest, they would probably say that that's the only way to get me as dizzy as I was." What you didn't see from that episode, because it was 45-minute affair cut down to 10 minutes, was me showing up and being like, "What the f*** are you people doing on my property? Get the f*** off my property, get the f*** out of here." Then they started rattling off my parents' address and I was like, holy shit, hold on a second. I mean, everybody got good on that show, me probably the best. Definitely the best. In at number 4, Fergie. Sometimes we have to go pee so bad that we just can't hold it, and it turns out Fergie couldn't hold her bladder better than anyone else could in this situation. At a 2005 concert, Fergie had a very embarrassing moment where a bit of fluid began to appear on the front of her pants. The suspicious stain was originally scoffed off as nothing but sweat, but as the years went on, Fergie ended up admitting that she did in fact wet herself. During an interview that she did with Blender, Fergie said, "It was horrible, but whatever, it happened." She then found herself revisiting the infamous situation again on Hot 97's Morning Radio, where she said that it was a combination of a full bladder and being rushed onto the stage. To quote Fergie again, she said, "I'm running on and we jump and do Let's Get It Started, and I get crazy and I jump and I run across the stage and my adrenaline was going, and gosh, I wish it didn't happen. It was so embarrassing." In at number 3, Aubrey Plaza. Typically when you get a couple of comedic actors together like Will Ferrell and Aubrey Plaza, you would think the end result would be funny. Unfortunately, no one found this embarrassing stunt funny, and instead Aubrey was unceremoniously escorted out of the building. At the MTV Movie Awards in 2013, a barefoot Aubrey Plaza ran onto the stage in an attempt to pry away the Golden Popcorn Award from Will Ferrell. The moment appeared to be a failed attempt to mock the great Kanye West interruption from the 2009 VMAs. Will still tried to play it off and joke that the bit was staged, but according to MTV, Miss Plaza was taken out of the award show by network executives and even had the head of Viacom security scolding her. It was not a good look and overall a terrible idea with poor execution.
At number 10, Christina Aguilera. At highly publicized events, celebrities always go out of their way to look their best. Same goes for celebrity funerals. Though they're somber events, the pictures and videos from the gathering will no doubt be shared on the internet afterwards, and celebrities still want to look their best to respect and honor the one who's passed. This was probably what Christina Aguilera was thinking when she was preparing for Etta James' funeral in 2012, where she was tasked with singing the singer's late song, At Last. Christina seemingly got a fresh spray tan for the event, but the pressure of singing at her idol's funeral was seemingly too much for the tan to handle, and it started to run. Videos and pictures captured brown liquid running down the singer's legs as she belted the song, and she even tried blending it with her other leg or her sleeve. It was embarrassing in the moment, but Christina still powered through to give a powerful performance to honor her idol anyway. At number 9, Demi Lovato. I can't say I've ever been interviewed, at least, you know, that's not a job interview, but I think it wouldn't be as easy as some celebrities make it look. Answering questions about a wide array of topics seems like a very stressful task Probably because I'm just a shy and uninteresting person. But for Demi Lovato, fans thought that maybe the pressure of being interviewed got to her a little bit as she answered one reporter's question in a funny yet mildly embarrassing way. While being interviewed, the reporter asked Demi what her favorite dish was, dish being in reference to a certain type of food, but Demi interpreted it as a serving dish and replied that mugs were her favorite dish.
I like mugs because they're very comfortable in your hand and they hold the hot things that you don't have to touch. So, coffee or hot tea.
Cringy and embarrassing to watch, I know. Later on, after the internet got a good laugh, Demi came out to clarify that her response to the question was just a joke, but even so, it was still super cringy to watch her go on about the appeal of mugs. Before I carry on with our list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on the video and maybe hitting that subscribe button while you're at it. It helps us grow our YouTube family and we would love your support. At number 7, Jensen Ackles. Jensen Ackles has been and always will be a heartthrob. My fellow Supernatural fans will surely attest to that. Every production he's in is incredible and every interview he gives makes fans love him even more, and every photo shoot he posed for is always a winner. Well, maybe not always. Back in '99, Jensen did a cowboy themed photo shoot, and though some of the photos turned out decent, many others were just cringy and embarrassing. I'm sorry, Jensen, but as quirky as you are, this is not a good look for you. Jensen, where are your shoes? These photos are just full of weird 90s energy and I kinda like it, but it also makes me cringe a little. But you guys be the judge. Cringy and embarrassing or cute and endearing? Let me know. At number 6, Taylor Swift. When I was a kid, I saw that famous Marilyn Monroe moment where she stands over the subway grate and her dress goes flying up just for her to hold it down all cute and sexy, and I thought to myself, that right there is how you get the boys. Kidding. I have yet to actually try that trick out, but one person, other than Marilyn, of course, has. Sort of. In 2011, while performing at her concert in St. Louis, Missouri, Taylor had a bit of a dress mishap that was reminiscent of that Marilyn Monroe scene. While singing her song, You Belong to Me, she got a little too close to a fan and it blew up her skirt. But instead of being graceful like Marilyn, it was just plain embarrassing. The fan blew her blue dress straight up, revealing her nude, seamless underwear, and Taylor even laughed at it a little bit, seemingly embarrassed. She kept on singing her song like nothing happened, but unfortunately, that moment will live on the internet forever. At number 5, Leonardo DiCaprio. If you thought those pictures of Jensen Ackles was cringy, just you wait until I show you some pictures from what is probably one of the most embarrassing and wacky photo shoots I have ever seen. David LaChapelle is one of Hollywood's best photographers. He's worked with a lot of the biggest names in Hollywood, from Kim Kardashian to Amanda Lepore, and he snapped photos for all kinds of occasions featuring all kinds of themes. Well, there's a collection of photos that David took of Leonardo DiCaprio back in the 90s. They're definitely something. In what some people have called Leo's most embarrassing photo shoot, we got pictures like this, of the actor punching what looks like the lake monster from that one episode of Kim Possible, this image of Leo looking like he's practicing his shot put form, and my personal favorite, Banana Leo, looking like he's ready to perform an artistic rendition of the Wiggles fruit salad. They're all so bizarre and cringy, but I'm kind of glad that these exist because they're also super fun to look at. At number 4, Jessica Simpson. Not everyone can be well versed in the culinary arts. You know, some people can name 50 types of cheeses and determine the doneness of their steak just by touching it, and others struggle to tell the difference between chicken and fish. I'm sure if you're familiar with the 2003 reality show Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica, you might know what I'm talking about. During the first episode of Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson's reality show about their new life as a married couple, there was a scene where the newlyweds were sitting on the couch eating when Jessica asked her husband whether she was eating chicken or fish.
Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish? I know it's tuna, but it says chicken by the sea. That's stupid.
Nick had to clarify that the brand of tuna that they were eating was chicken of the sea, but that it did not in fact contain any chicken and that it was just an expression. This mix-up had people laughing and caused some embarrassment for Jessica, as this simple mistake caused her to be laughed at by so many. In later years, she's become a good sport with the meme and has even used it herself on a few occasions. At number 3, Cara Delevingne. If there's anything we've learned about Hollywood, it's that paparazzi are everywhere trying to uncover the latest celebrity drama or juicy scoop. Always getting in people's faces, they're obnoxious, but sometimes that pays off because they can expose celebrity secrets. This is what happened in 2013 as paparazzi got very close to model Cara Delevingne as she was getting into her house, and as she reached for her keys, something mysterious fell out of her pocket. Photographers zoomed in on a tiny bag that fell out of the model's pocket, revealing a suspicious white powdery substance inside. In a fit of embarrassment and split-second thinking, Cara quickly moved her foot and stepped on the bag in an attempt to block it from the camera's view, but the damage was already done, and the quick snaps of the camera already captured what would eventually lead into the next Hollywood scandal. Many people suspected that what Cara had been carrying in her bag was a little bag of no-no snow, and that made some brands panic, and this was bad publicity for them. This all led to Cara losing her deal with H&M, for which she was going to be the new face of their new campaign. It was an embarrassing slip-up that cost her her job, but she's since bounced back and it's like nothing ever happened. At number 2, Kanye West. Raise your hand if you've ever accidentally walked into a pole, or a door, or a wall, or just anything really. Me. If you're alone and you accidentally bump into a wall or something, then it's fine, but when you're with other people or out in public, these little accidents can be super embarrassing. That's what happened with Kanye West in 2013 while out with Kim K. This happened while Kim was pregnant, and so as they were walking together and paparazzi caught up with them, Kanye got protective of her and their unborn child and wanted to keep their heads down and away from the cameras. Well, I guess the flashing and snapping of the cameras was too distracting for the rapper as he ended up walking headfirst into a sign.
Oh! Kanye! Oh, Kanye. Kanye, you okay? You okay? Are you okay? Stop taking
He was a little shaken and Kim even stopped to make sure that he was okay, but this injury angered Kanye as he proceeded to yell and curse at the surrounding paparazzi, getting them to leave them alone. I think my favorite part of this whole thing is the fact that he walked into a wrong way sign. Like, the fact that the sign itself was like, danger, is just so funny to me. Sorry, Kanye.
In at number 10, Travis Scott. This one was hard to watch go down, especially when you take into consideration how much Travis Scott probably spent on his custom Halloween costume. It definitely wasn't the worst Halloween costume in the world, but Trav still felt the heat online. Fans and followers began to make fun of him relentlessly, and the bullying got so bad that he even ended up deleting his entire Instagram page. Although he never provided a statement about being publicly shamed, it was assumed his Instagram deactivation was a result of the teasing. One user tweeted, "Travis Scott is drowning in millions of dollars right now and he couldn't get a good Batman costume? Shaking my head." Although many people ridiculed those teasing Travis and accused them of jealousy, they also made a very valid point when they said that his silly Batman costume is probably worth more than their house, which, yeah, probably is. Ooh, also real quick before we hit our next point, I need you guys to hit that like button because it really helps us out. And with that out of the way, let's just get right back to it. In at number 9, Will Smith. When Jada Pinkett Smith confirmed that she was romantically involved with singer August Alsina during an episode of her Facebook Watch show called Red Table Talk, she spoke openly about it while sitting across from her husband Will Smith.
You giving permission, which is, you know, the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes.
The thing that really baffled people was that she did this with her son's friend. You know, Jaden is the one that introduced August to the house, and then he went and got himself entangled with his buddy's mom. I mean, come on, man, that's greasy. During the one-on-one interview with Will, Jada explained that her and August had become good friends, but I guess he missed the memo on keeping things hush-hush. August came out and claimed that he and Jada had started a relationship while she was married, and Will had given them permission, which was completely false and only blew this thing up in the press even more. The couple also revealed in their conversation that they had briefly separated when Jada began seeing August, but with that behind them, they are apparently now committed to one another. Even so, this remains a very embarrassing video for Will Smith. Coming in at number 8, Hugh Grant. While some accents may sound charming, Hugh Grant's personality canceled out any of that for Jon Stewart at The Daily Show. After appearing on the show, Jon Stewart said that he was banning Grant for being a big pain in the ass. Stewart saying that he would never grant him permission back on the show, pun intended. During an onstage Q&A, John remarked that they had dictators on the show, but Hugh Grant was still his least favorite guest. Yikes. Apparently Hugh spent most of the day just complaining that he had to be there and even flat out said that he had better things to do, for which the staff of The Daily Show didn't really care to hear, nor did Stewart. So thanks to his high maintenance attitude, he was banned from the show with 0 apologies, and I gotta say, that's pretty embarrassing. Coming in at number 7, Kevin Hart. This entire cheating scandal with Kevin Hart was recently covered on his new docuseries on Netflix, where he fully details what went down that night in Las Vegas. The show even interviews his wife Aniko as she emotionally recaps when she saw the video and how it made her feel. While Kevin was with a friend in Vegas, he cheated on his wife and then his own friend was the one that set him up. Yes, Kevin did do this to himself and he takes full responsibility for his mistakes, but can you imagine your own friend trying to blackmail you like that? The woman sent his wife the video, and then later on the pair decided that they were going to use it as leverage to get Kevin to pay them $60 million. Instead, that man went to jail for an attempted extortion, and Aniko and Kevin seem stronger than ever, but still, it's a very embarrassing moment for Kevin that he had to really live while he was out touring, while he was filming movies. It was a mess. Coming in at number 6, Alec Baldwin. Yes, that is just the end bit of a string of harassing voicemails that Alec Baldwin would leave his daughter. More concerning is that she was 12 years old at the time. He actually called her a rude, thoughtless little pig. Why, you ask? Well, because she forgot to take his call at the time that they had agreed upon. Look, I get if you're concerned for her safety and that's why you need the calls to check in, but she's 12, dude. You don't scream at a kid like that. You shouldn't scream at anyone like that. Alec took a ton of heat for this to the point where he even contemplated suicide. Instead, he wrote a book called A Promise to Ourselves, A Journey Through Fatherhood and Divorce. The book detailed his long divorce that involved 90 court proceedings and $3 million in legal fees, as well as the alienation that he felt from his daughter after everything that had happened. Luckily, years later, his daughter Ireland was able to roast her dad on Comedy Central, although being embarrassed in public hardly seems like a sufficient punishment for the childhood trauma that he caused his daughter, but you be the judge. Coming in at number 5, Nate Robinson.
Mamma mia, the problem child proving to be a big problem.
And I guarantee you that when former NBA player Nate Robinson stepped into the ring with YouTuber Jake Paul, he did not think that he was going to become a viral meme for weeks. For the most part, Nate looked very untrained and was just throwing punches wildly throughout the fight. Jake then knocked Robinson out in the second round of the fight after first catching him with a huge uppercut and then putting him away with a straight right hand. I had always heard that getting hit on your chin is a soft spot for being knocked out, but damn, he literally bounced when he hit the canvas. There wasn't even a light on in his frontal lobe for him to cushion his fall. It's probably going to take some time before Nate Robinson scrolls the internet because his lack of training really showed in this one, and he was brutally bullied for it. Coming in at number 4, Kanye West. The word disaster is really the only way to truly describe the Kanye West rally in South Carolina. With the year of our Lord 2020 shaved into the back of his head whilst wearing a flak jacket that read security, Kanye rambled about his campaign for about an hour. This was his very first presidential campaign rally, which was held, as I mentioned, in South Carolina under his political banner called the Birthday Party. Still funny to me. Then Kanye said that all Harriet Tubman did was free the slaves so that they could be slaves to other white people. It was a rally filled with controversies, but the biggest moment was when Kanye broke down into tears as he openly told the crowd that he nearly aborted his own daughter. This clearly was a sensitive subject for him and left the crowd absolutely baffled. Following this, Kanye would continue to make headlines as many political opponents accused him of trying to split the vote. Coming in at number 3, Jake Paul. This man's whole career has been made up of wild antics, controversy, and embarrassing others. Thankfully, we're going to be focusing in on Jake embarrassing himself rather than his friends for once.
Yo, you good?
Jake had done another video of him stacking a bunch of red cups before inevitably falling off the ladder, thus bringing down the pyramid of sadness. Well, he tried it again, but this time opted for the more comfortable fall by stacking toilet paper rolls. You know, in the middle of a pandemic, when there was a shortage of toilet paper rolls at the time. Although Jake adds to the embarrassment of this post by first having his dog jump across him before he topples onto them. God, this guy needs to go away. Coming in at number 2, Chris Evans. Captain America gave America a lot more than just America's. Back in September, Chris uploaded a screen-recorded video of him and his siblings playing the game Heads Up to his Instagram stories. However, what he didn't realize was that in that video there was a brief frame that had his camera roll in it. Someone then took a screenshot of this and immediately it went viral on Twitter. You see, within the images were some interesting memes featuring himself that he had saved, and then another was, well, there's no easy way to say this, Thor's hammer. I don't know. Someone must have contacted him quickly because he removed the video not too long after, but the photos and memes had already begun. However, instead of just tucking his tail between his legs, Chris tweeted this out: "Now that I have your attention, vote November 3rd. Hey, at least he used the publicity.